Hello and welcome to another video on the Bonus Points YouTube channel. Today we are going to be ranking all of the guns from Ratchet and Clank 2016. Joining me as always is Joe Garrett.
Hello, hello.
And from the Ratchet and Clank podcast episode is our expert and Ratchet and Clank addict, apparently, Chris Guy.
It's me again. Hello.
You haven't played it again since we last recorded, have you?
Yeah, like twice.
I know you keep looking off screen during it. I'm just like, you've got it on the second monitor there.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is I have painstakingly put all of the weapons into a tier list. Well, into a pool. And then we're going to take turns one by one to choose a weapon at random and then drop it in the list. So these are, as far as the Ratchet and Clank wiki goes, but some of them have the bonus versions and some of them don't.
There's no Rhino, wasn't?
Yeah, the Rhino is missing. But
the Rhino is missing. We didn't get the Rhino.
Yeah, Ollie and I have never played with the Rhino, so probably couldn't rank it. So
there's also one in there that's a DLC pre-order bonus. That I don't know if we've ever seen that either. Chris may have done.
What, the bouncer?
The bouncer, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've never seen that one either. I tell you what, at the end we'll write Rhino, and then we can put that.
Rhino with a question mark at the end.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go first, and I'm going to take quite a simple weapon, quite an obvious choice. I'm going to take the Omni Wrench, and I think, despite it not being that interesting, it's very reliable, and I'm going to put it in B. Always there, unlimited ammo, not that powerful. You can throw it, you can swing it.
Breaks a lot of crates. Very good at breaking crates.
Very good at breaking crates. It's the go-to for breaking crates, I reckon.
Did you get the Crate Buster upgrade for it?
What? How do you upgrade it?
There's a hidden area in, I think it's the Gadgetron HQ level.
Yeah.
You get a little plug-in pack that he sticks on the end of it, and what that means is when you jump and do the downward smack attack, it blows up any crates in like a 20-meter radius, and they all just.
That's in Rift Apart as well, isn't it?
Yeah, you got it by default, I think, in Rift Apart.
Yeah, I remember it in Rift Apart.
In this one, it's an upgrade.
Are we considering upgrades or not in this?
Yeah, I think we should. It's the gun. That's
consider the potential. Yeah, I think so.
I still think it's a B though.
I think it's a B.
Yeah, I think maybe C, but I mean, just looking at some of the other ones, but I'm not going to argue it down. I used it more than anything else, I guess, probably.
Well, just like the podcast list, we can move things up and down at any time, so don't worry about it.
I love the way it's like, it's you guys, and then like I'm your kid, that you're just trying to stop having a strop all the time, like if I don't get my way.
We'll change
Joe,
it later.
Tell you what.
Okay.
Yeah. Joe, you can go next. How about that?
Okay, I'm going to go for a bold choice here. I might get some disagreement, but I've got a case to make. I'm going to put the Sheepinator in D. Is there any objections?
Yeah. Massive objection. I would put the Sheepinator up in A. Are you wild? What are you chatting on?
I think all of the value in the Sheepinator is in the fact that, like, it's funny to turn people into sheep. Using it takes too long, because basically, once they're a sheep, they're dead. So it's basically the equivalent of you need to keep the laser on them if it's a strong enemy until the point another gun would kill them, and it's just too long. I think they should make it so it's not infinite ammo. It has like 5 shots, and like you just shoot it and they're instantly a sheep. I think if it was that, it would be higher up. The fact that it just takes so long, using it is rubbish, but the idea of turning people into sheep is funny, but not even unique. Loads of games have done stuff like that.
I have a similar but better idea for the Sheepinator, because I thought the same thing. They should have made it a turret. So you just use it once. You're like, oh, that's funny. And then you don't need to use it again. Because it's only funny once.
It was a one-novel joke, but it's not like an actual fun gun to actually use, I would argue.
They actually have a similar thing to what you're chatting about in Rift Apart, Ollie, called like the topiary sprinkler, where you chuck it down and then it fires a jet of water, and whatever it hits turns into a hedge.
Right.
And then that works for bosses as well. And and I think that's way better, because it's an actual useful gun to use. Like, it would be E if it wasn't for like the novelty of it. Like, that's the only reason that's put it up to D for me.
Do you even get bolts if you kill enemies with it?
No, but you do get raritanium, which you use to upgrade your weapons. It's one of the best sources of that stuff. If you want to upgrade your weapons a lot. This is where maybe we need to chat about like the upgraded versions and the potential. Because once this gets to level 5, it becomes the Goatinator, where you turn them into goats. and all of the goats.
That's okay.
All of the goats fart on the other enemies, and their farts turn the other enemies into other goats. So you create a ripple effect of goats out from the first one that you've created, and then it's an infinite energy weapon that does a lot of damage.
Yeah, maybe because you get it quite late in the game, or when I got it quite late in the game, and I didn't have much time to upgrade it, and I didn't enjoy using it. I was literally like, I should use it a few times to get footage for the podcast, but I didn't. It just took too long to turn people into sheep before it's upgraded. Maybe.
Also, though, how many of the guns create this crazy ripple, amazing, devastating effect when they are fully upgraded? It must be like all of them, right? They're all good when they're upgraded.
I actually think a lot of them do it before, like Buzzblades does it like almost immediately. So like maybe I'm so used to the max level of everything. I forgot about the grind to get there.
It as you first get it is like a fun novelty to do a few times at very weak enemies. But I feel like I'd be better off with like the Combustor or the Pixelator or something. Pixelizer, sorry.
I would also leave it in D. You're saying D, Chris. You're not saying A, really, are you?
I'm not. I think that the max level version is A, but actually now that you talk about like, and I remember the effort to get it to max level, it's not A. It takes a lot to get it there, to get it to be that effective. I'd still bump it up a bit though. It's like for potential.
Should we settle for a C? For a C then?
Put it
do you
in
think?
C.
I tell you what, let's put it here for now because we can always jiggle stuff around at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't cry, Chris. It's a fluid list.
We can always jiggle stuff around at the end.
My favourite goatinator.
You're witnessing the recording of our last conversation before we don't talk to each other for 10 years.
I think it's a C. You would say that. Sheepinator.
Oh, you and your farting goats. Always the farting
goats. Chris, be my guest. Pull something out of the weapon pool.
All right. I'm going to pick up Mr. Zurkon. I'm going to pop this boy also up in a B. I think he's great, just individually. He's got some great voice lines, some unique voice lines that I love listening to. He's great, just constant damage to like keep the little fellas off of you when they're coming at you. And his fully upgraded version, his son comes along with him, like bringing his son to a work day.
That's great.
And he's great. His son's great as well.
And he's a goat.
His son's a goat.
I quite liked actually the boss fight that was Mrs. Zurkon.
Yeah.
That's quite funny.
It's a really good, and she's got loads of tiny Mr. Zurkons that just like spew out of her like bees. It's great.
So I feel like, sorry, go on, Jay.
All I was going to say was, for me, they're like, I probably would settle with C, but I think it's largely from the voice lines, right? Like, I feel like it's a thing where I'm like, oh, let's throw that out the way and then like can get into the action. It's not fun throwing him out or deploying him or when he's there. It's like, I feel I got to switch to him so I can send him out and then switch back to something else is, it's not work, is effort. But his fact that he's got such funny voice lines, I always want to do it every time, and he helps a bit, at least early on.
Yeah.
So that's why I would say C for me.
But B is kind of becoming the staples tier. Stuff that you always kind of have and kind of go for. Mr. Zurkon, I felt straight away, as soon as I got him, I was like, he's going out every time. He's one of the ones I kept on my quick, the quick select.
Yeah. Oh, like all of mine. Like every gun for me.
Okay, so I'm going to go my personal favourite weapon, which is the Proton Drum. And I'm going to put that in A. Like, satisfying to use, super powerful, huge area of effect, and it seems to last a really long time, even before you upgrade it.
Yeah. And then you can, like, fire out several of them as well.
Yeah. Like, Mr. Zurkon, even though I never ran out of ammo, I feel like if I did, I wouldn't really notice. Whereas when I ran out of Proton Drum ammo, I was like, I need to go and get some. Because I need this. So yeah, I'll put that in an A.
So is it all... I feel like it's A for effectiveness, or is it? It's not a fun gun to use because you kind of.
It is fun because it's like crazy. Like everyone's
I guess it's fun
hurt,
to watch, isn't it? But yeah, and great against bosses as well, especially when you do what you mentioned in the podcast. We like Groovaton and then they're stuck dancing and then taking damage.
Or when enemies are running out of doors, you just throw it down.
Yeah,
Great.
What do you think, Chris?
I agree, especially, and maybe I can talk to potential here because I've got all of these at level 10. At level 10. You can put 3 down, and each individual one both has a massive area of effect, but they also fire a constant beam of the same like purpley pinky laser energy at the closest enemy. So they just like you just got these beams firing across everywhere whilst they're pulsing at the ground as well. It's a very good weapon.
Do they add
It's
more
really
enemies
good.
in like when you're playing again, or does it just
They
the game
make
get
them
trivially
tougher.
easy?
Eventually it does get trivially easy. That's why the replays are so quick.
Yeah.
I think I upgraded it enough to get one laser.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah, because I remember using it on Captain Quark, and it was like lasering him the whole time. So
Might just be 5 that it adds the laser. I can't remember. I've had it for 10 for so long.
yeah, since 2016. Yeah.
So are you happy with A then, Chris?
Yeah, I think A is a pretty reasonable spot to pop this in.
Yeah, I won't put up a stink.
For once. No, I'm joking.
I'm trying to be nothing but lovely.
Okay, Joe. Your turn.
I'm gonna do the Plasma Striker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put that at. I'm gonna read the room first. I'm gonna hover it between B and C. Do you guys not like it?
It was. I didn't really use it.
So something I found is a lot of the guns are good like AoE damage and ground damage against groups of enemies, and there's a lot of times where there's like jetpack enemies and flying stuff, and I feel like the Plasma Striker was the quickest thing to just like pop them out the sky, and it's the one gun that involves precise aiming, and I know this game isn't about that, but when you are getting a bunch of like critical hits in a row, like I feel like that is satisfying. It's a bit of a basic gun, but like I feel like mechanically it's one of the most fun just to use in terms of like aiming, and like the big critical hit is just a nice easy target to go for.
I would go C.
I think I would knock it down. Like, because I used this weapon exclusively to level it up, and then as soon as it was at its max level, I stopped using it. It's just not why I play the Ratchet games.
Yeah. I realize it's a bit of an outlier, and it doesn't really fit into Ratchet, but like, I really like those kind of like precise shooter games. So like,
strong though.
I enjoyed having that option to go and just use like a sniper rifle, basically. But that's why I hovered it between the two, because from conversations earlier, I assumed it wouldn't get much support. So I'm fine with C.
What does the level 10 version do?
It just does more damage, and you get like some time slowdown as you when you aim, so it's easier to hit the weak points. It does a lot
that's
of damage.
like Rift Apart, isn't it? It's got that as well.
It's got a similar thing, yeah. And it's good for that. I just don't find it fun to use. I'll play other games when I want to do like down the sights aiming.
Yeah, no, fair enough. It's probably one of the least interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I'll put it in D.
He's just losing. We're pushing him down. He's losing confidence as this goes on.
Why is Halo Infinite on this list now? It's not even on the main list.
He'll grab another gun. His hand will be shaking, like you'll be able to see it on the screen. Move it.
Be making new F categories to
puts his own face in it.
I'm like, what do you think about this gun? And you're like, I'm like, yeah, no, I hate it too. Yeah, whatever. Forget about it.
Right, Chris, I believe it's your turn.
Right, I'm gonna jump in with Buzzblades, and this boy, I think I'm gonna send it all the way to the top.
Whoa.
All the way to the top.
I barely used it.
Yeah, it's the initial version of it just seemed to do very low damage. So what do the upgrades do?
I don't think it takes very many upgrades for it to be like a pretty great way of dealing with basically anyone, because every time you fire a blade, it hangs around for ages and like whips across the screen, hitting either the same enemy multiple times, same enemy multiple times, or multiple enemies. It does a ton of damage. It's one of the main weapons I use when I'm running through the world.
I feel like most of the environments are so open that like there was not many like small rooms for them to really bounce around that much.
Oh, they don't bounce off the wall.
They soar. They
curl back around and hit the same thing.
Yeah, I really didn't use it very much, so I don't have any strong opinions.
Oh, no.
Once again, you get it quite late, and we only played it like once. So
exactly, yeah. I got it quite late, and then I was like, it's on the second radio menu. I was like, nah. Well, I'm not gonna press
Yeah,
R1.
maybe
Not worth an R1 press.
You know what? Maybe
think-
for that it should get a little drop. I could be convinced to bring it down to a B for like, it's a late bloomer.
It's a late
Doesn't
bloomer.
get the opportunity to bloom. The
feel
Proton
like
Drum you
maybe-
get really
Maybe
early.
B, just because it's like only you championing it, and it's like
It's a
But you-
2v1.
like
But we respect your opinion as
Yeah.
a Ratchet and Clank scholar. Okay, I'm going to go next. I'm going to pick another favourite of mine, Predator Launcher. I'm going to put it in B, because every boss battle I rinse this thing. Every boss battle I'd use it all the way down to 0. Hopefully it'll level up during the fight, fill it up again, and I'd rinse it again. Didn't really use it in the game, like in the, except for the tanks. Didn't really use it in the like levels, just in the boss fights. But for that reason, it's a staple for a boss fight, and I'd put it in.
yeah,
B.
I feel like it did a bunch of damage, but it's not like particularly interesting.
It's
Anything
the
is-
one you chuck out early to like knock a big chunk of health off, and then you
Yeah.
start playing the game properly. Properly, big air
What do you mean
quotes.
properly? It's useful. It's a good gun.
Yeah, I feel like
Also,
it's
the
just
effect's
useful.
quite cool.
But
The
it's not like
rockets like hanging around, like, and then
Yeah,
Wicked.
it was quite good. It was quite good. I don't know. It just doesn't.
shall I do a betweenie?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I'd put it maybe C or D, but
Really, it's useful though.
Yeah, but then I keep thinking about like, and maybe we'll get on this. But I keep thinking about like the Warmonger, which is it's like this but better. So I'm like,
I think it's like this but worse.
oh
it doesn't
no,
home.
it does so much more damage. The Warmonger, and each or whatever. We'll chat about Warmonger at some point, I'm sure.
Warmonger's
What
time
my
will
next
come.
choice will be.
I tell you what, I leave it between B and C.
We'll hash it out later.
Joe, you can pick yours.
Okay, well, if we just move on to Chris, because I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right, what's your pick, Chris?
it's great. What's my pick, you ask? I wonder.
So soon.
I'm gonna pick actually in here. I'm pick Combustor, and I think I'm gonna put this like fairly low on the list. It's faithful, but it's kind of boring. Like when it levels up, it fires 2 or 3 shots instead of 1.
3, yeah, I
It doesn't
leveled
do
it.
that much damage. It's just
great
a
against
gun.
like groups of minions. You know the level where you're going around on like the little boat things and all the fish are jumping up? Like sections like that where you can just spin in a circle really rapidly, and then it just like basically the enemies that just need one bit of damage on anything to die. Like for those ones, you can just kind of like whip it back and forth and like spray them all down. It was not the most fun gun, but it was super effective.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know. In bits
that's
like
what I
that,
say
I
is
just
good
use
about it.
the Proton Drum instead.
I use a Proton Drum as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Let it do its thing, and then I'm like, I don't need to use the bullets.
It
was always my last resort.
I'm happy with D for the Combustor.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going so
Sweet.
smoothly.
I'm going to put it actually in D. So I spent a long time making this list. Joe. Oh no, it's me.
Yeah.
Is it me?
Yeah, you're up. Mine was
Okay,
so quick,
okay.
you missed it.
I don't know. Fusion grenade. I think this might be our first E.
Yeah.
Pretty boring. Don't really remember using it ever because there's so many other better explosive options that don't arc. Don't think I leveled it up.
I've just realised something.
What?
I was thinking of the Pyrocitor. What's the flamethrower?
Pyrocitor?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking when I was talking about the Combustor. I was thinking of that, like shooting like the flames around.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, the Combustor. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, totally with that. Sorry.
Or the Proton Drum, you mean?
No.
Like
but
throwing it
I
down
was
and then-
talking about the flamethrower when I was
Yeah.
saying the Combustor. That's what I was saying. It's good for like loads of little minions to wave it around.
okay,
yeah, no,
yeah.
Combustor's boring.
Yeah.
Too slow. Shoots too slow. It's just like.
Yeah. Cool. So fusion grenade E. We're all happy with that? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the
Joe?
original, it's
Yep,
the first
sorry, go on.
weapon you get. Is the fusion grenade, and you don't get the
Original.
Combustor for a while afterwards.
Oh, really?
So you just spend ages throwing this grenade that's like kind of boring.
Yeah. I think the fact that it is quite strong and effective, but you still don't use it much, it kind of like speaks a lot.
Joe, your pick.
Right, let's
My
do the.
man.
How do you pronounce this?
Pyrocitor.
Pyrocitor, right. I think C, like, for the reason it's as high as it is in the middle, I think, is because I did use it quite a lot for, like, all the groups of little minion-y enemies. Not the most fun, but effective, and I did not enjoy it, so I think C sounds fair enough.
I did, even though the game does look amazing, I did think the flame effect on it was quite rubbish. It looked like cheese.
It never stood out to me. I'm sure maybe if I watched it
again. It didn't look good.
It does look like cheese.
Yeah.
Is that a bad
okay? Yeah,
thing?
no, I'm fine with C.
I love this thing. I love the Pyrocitor. I would put it higher. Like, I see a sand shark. First thing I do is Pyrocitor. Like, and I'm just toasting him. Like, it's so good. It's so satisfying.
So, what did it do at level 10?
It's just even bigger and goes even further. So it's like almost as wide as the screen.
More cheese.
You're just like wiping it.
More cheese,
so much cheese, man.
I think, unfortunately, you've been outvoted, and it's going to stay in C.
Outvoted. I think you're right.
Sorry, man.
And now you're off the video.
Yeah. Disconnect. Goodbye. No. So, Chris, your pick.
All right. Let's check this in here.
You're going to have to do the bouncer at some point because we've never even seen it.
Oh, well, let's just write that one off. Let's just put it over here somewhere. Just put it out.
Bouncer's all right.
I've never even seen it.
That's the one where all the grenades go and then goes to smaller ones and they just like do loads of damage, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
The grenades are just not getting any love, are they?
The reason I like it is because it's one of the times that shows you like how reactive the enemies are. Like if there's a room full of all crates and like loads of enemies and you fire about, that's one of the maddest times for effect. There's just stuff going and enemies bouncing all over the place. Like, you know, if you just want to like add some madness to a room, just empty all of your ammo in and just watch the chaos. I think doing that is what made it fun. Like I'm not going to push for A or B, but I'd like it above the fusion grenade. Like we don't have an F tier here, and that's where fusion grenade would be. So I feel like we got to move bouncer up.
It's putting so much.
I've no comment. I've never seen the bouncer in action, so I am.
Yeah, I think that's another thing against it is that like in this game it was like I think it was a pre-order bonus.
Or
I think they get, if you get it via the Sony collection, you just get given it there.
So you literally you didn't have it in your game, Ollie.
Nope.
I thought you meant you just never used it.
Nope. That's why I said I've never seen it. Like, you need to do it because.
Okay. Are you happy with D then, though, Chris? Like, have I?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's fine. It's fun, but it's just the grenades just aren't that great in this.
I feel
game,
like D's the tier for fine and E's for like border bad. You know, like.
I think you're right. I think D for fine. I'll give it that.
It's not worse than the Combustor.
No, it is not. That is true. They're on equal footing, I think. You've convinced me.
Okay, I'm going to go next. I'm going to take the classic, but controversially, I'm actually going to put it in B.
Why not A?
Because even though I don't know if it's that effective.
Oh, it is.
It looks cool. I don't know. The thing is with these two up here, Proton Drum and Groovatron, they're so effective. Whereas like Pixelizer, I was always a bit like using it because I like the effects.
It's so unique. There's nothing like it in any other game. It's so like it's fun to use because it's decently like it's a good gun to use. Probably not like A tier for just effectiveness, but also it's just so fun to see all the effects and the way they animate as the pixels and then the sound effects. Like I loved using it. It was for like fun. It's at definitely A tier.
Yeah, but effectiveness.
It doesn't.
I mean, like
it doesn't feel like it's doing a lot of damage. But it is one of the most powerful weapons in the game.
It felt like
raw
it to
stats,
me.
it does a lot of damage.
Okay, all right. In that case, then I'll move it up to A.
Bump him up.
Because I was like, it's not really doing anything, and if it is the most powerful weapon in the game, then I can't really put it in B, can I? Whose turn is it? I've lost track. Joe?
Yeah, I think it's me.
Cool.
You guys might disagree, but the Glove of Doom, I feel like. You can't help but compare it to Mr. Zurkon, and Mr. Zurkon like wins in the regard of robot helpers, even though you're firing out more of them. Like I just often end up wouldn't bothering to throw them down because it's in the beginning of the fight. It's just one too many guns to switch to fire out one thing to then switch to something else. I just wouldn't bother. So yeah, I think E tier.
Isn't the Glove of Doom? You just shoot them and then they spread in like a cross, and they run until they hit something.
No, there's just like it just releases 4 robots that go out and start fighting stuff for you.
Okay. Shows
Yeah,
how much
they
I
go-
used it. Doesn't it?
No, they just go and bite dudes.
I'm sure when you
Sometimes
level
they
up, it's
explode.
goats or something, but I don't.
No, when you level it up, there's just more little robots. That's kind of it. It's fine.
Do you think E's fair? Like, I
think
have no
E's
passion
fair.
for
I
it.
think E's fair because it's.
I think
just,
it's without Mr. If Mr. Zurkon wasn't in the game and it was the only little robot helpers apart from Clank, then maybe. But I just feel like it's the worst of those ones, and it's just completely doesn't stand out.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything super interesting when you level it up more either. So,
Cool. All right. Final one then, Chris.
Warmonger.
Warmonger.
This is why I was interested in the Predator launcher, because I put Warmonger up at B. The thing's so powerful, like it does so much damage, but it is a bit boring because it's just one
boring,
big rocket.
Yeah, and also you can't carry much ammo for it.
You can't.
You only get
Even when you
shots or
fully
something.
upgrade it, it's not that much.
Yeah, it's one for like bosses and stuff. I didn't use it load. I mean, maybe when like with tanks and stuff. Like I'm definitely leaning more fun rather than effectiveness for how I would do the list. We did discuss that before. I think C seems fair.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it over effectiveness over fun. I'm just doing a balance of the two. It has to be balanced.
That's your the way you live your life, isn't it, Ollie? Where's your tattoo? Effectiveness over fun, Ollie.
Effectiveness over fun. Yeah.
2022 little quote.
Yeah. So we should start moving around some of these midpoint ones. And I feel like what we've just said about the Warmonger doesn't apply to the Predator launcher, and it should move up because it is fun.
It's more fun. It's more interesting.
Yeah.
And if all 4 rockets hit the same target, it probably does as much damage as the Warmonger.
It does a lot.
I'm completely guessing. I don't know.
It's missable though. You can miss the Predator launcher if you're not careful. It's one of the few optional pickups.
Oh, is it?
I thought you meant you could miss a shot. I was like homing.
No, yeah, you gotta try real hard to miss it. You gotta look at the
just
wall,
aim straight up.
Yeah. No, to pick it up, it's an optional pickup. It's on the like bigger spaceship. You go to the spaceship and you pick it up, and then you escape while it explodes.
Oh,
it's this weapon.
yeah. No, I remember now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that makes it a bit more special.
You know, I've just bumped it into B.
Do you know what? It's in. I'm happy.
Okay.
Joe,
Sheepinator.
you can move Sheepinator.
I mean, I think the fact that all me and Ollie got to base it on is its default form. I feel like we kind of have to rate it on that because we haven't seen anything, and I think if we were rating on that, it would be D.
Oh, it hurts. It's one of my favourites. To see my boy fall so far.
Its space has been filled in now. It can't even get back up. There's a barrier here with it
Blocked.
Well, look, we've let you have Buzz Blades,
That's true. That's fair.
Yeah.
You were very understanding with Buzz.
and I'm also going to let you have a little move as well because you didn't get to move on at the end. So, what are you thinking? Anything up or down?
I actually think it's a pretty even list. I'd like to call back to the Rhino if I could, though.
Oh yeah, the Rhino. Sorry,
So I know you two didn't get it.
I will add the Rhino now. I'm just going to write the word Rhino because
Oh, it's so small.
it's cold.
Oh, please don't enlarge it. It's so much funnier that small.
I don't know how to.
So where are we going to put the Rhino?
How do you enlarge it? I don't know how to do it.
You two won't have played with it, which is fair, but maybe you can find some footage of it because it is a wild gun, right? So it's got, you know, the Predator launcher, all those little rockets. Mm-hmm. It's them but smaller. It's a machine gun, like a Gatling gun, and every bullet it fires is a little rocket. And when you level it up, those little rockets explode into more rockets.
Oh my god!
With this gun at level 5, you can kill the final boss in like 20 seconds. It does so much damage. But to get it, you have to go through so much work. Like you have to find all of these like hidden areas to find these hidden cards to get them all together. by the time you've done that, you've got all your other weapons leveled up as well, and you're having a great time regardless.
Because it's so strong, does it make it less fun? Because like the fights just end straight away.
In a way, yeah. Like when I replay the game for the 6th time, you just use that to get through the bosses because you're like, and they're gone.
So, how much ammo does it have?
It's got like 600 ammo or something.
Okay.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It does. It's
that's
so
the
powerful.
Reward for the hardcore, isn't it?
It is. It exactly is. But like, I kind of think that like, if you're trying to balance it in terms of like fun and effectiveness, I think that kind of makes the Rhino like a D tier gun.
Ooh.
Like, it's extraordinarily effective, but getting it is not fun. And then it sucks the fun out of the game when you use it.
It just reminds you of what you had to do to get there.
Yeah, and you stop using the other weapons because it fills the gap that all of them leave behind when you don't use them because it just does so much damage.
It's like the person who like camps out for a week outside an Apple store to get the iPhone first. I bet they have less fun with that iPhone than like anyone else who just orders it and gets it like the next day.
What a wild comparison.
Yeah,
But
they just see like a grandma on the train using like a Snapchat filter and they have like one tear coming down their face. They don't understand. So it looks like, looking at this list, we've really favoured things that are a bit mad and cover large areas.
Yeah, I mean, this is the game for it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the game. I mean, that's what Insomniac are known for. You know, not even just this, but Resistance. That was they were known for like wacky guns. Like it's the wacky gun company and Spider-Man.
Who made that game Armed and Dangerous? Because that had some crazy guns in it. Do you remember that?
What game's that?
Played it.
It had a game. It was on PS2. It had a gun in it where you'd shoot it. So the guy would hold it and he'd shoot it. As soon as he pulls the trigger, he sticks it in the ground. And the whole world turns upside down. All the enemies fall off. He hangs onto the gun, and then it goes back up the right way again, and all the enemies crash down. And it also had another gun where you shoot a shark out, and it instantly goes in the ground, and you can see its fin, and it'll like. We should do it for the show.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's funny because I'm picturing in my head what that would be like, and I know there's no way the game can live up to like what my imagination has just conjured up.
Yeah, it's not as many enemies as Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Like when the enemies fall off the earth, there's like 2 of them. It's not like
just hundreds tumbling to their doom.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess are we all happy with the list?
Yeah.
Feels like a good
Sweet.
definitive list that is inarguably correct.
Exactly. If you disagree, you're wrong.
Yeah. If you disagree, you got to deal with us personally, because this is it now. Sweet. Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us again, Chris.
Welcome.
And
thank you for having me. I loved it.
As always, Joe. And thank you to the audience for watching. That's it. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.